Welcome, everyone. Today, we embark on a journey to unravel the intricate web of overpopulation and its profound impact on our environment. Let's dive into the abstract to set the stage for our explanation. In this research, we delve into the historical roots of overpopulation, exploring attempts to curb it and the global consequences that persist. From prehistoric times to the present, we'll trace the environmental repercussions, emphasizing habitat destruction, carbon emissions, climate change, and the threat to biodiversity. The societal challenges, such as food and water scarcity and global inequality, are brought to light. Join us as we propose solutions that involve national institutions aligning with international guidelines to address this global issue. The stakes are high, and the unchecked inequality might even contribute to humanity's extinction. Now, as we begin our journey, let's set the stage with a preface that paints a vivid picture of the current state of our world. The preface. With the current population of 7.5 billion and projections expecting at least 9 billion, the threat of overpopulation looms large. 9 births per second contribute to the alarming pace of growth. Did you know Asia houses 60% of the global population, yet millions lack access to safe drinking water and adequate nutrition. Our journey begins by exploring the irreversible environmental consequences and activists raising the alarm. The preface is a call to action, emphasizing the need to address ongoing population growth with awareness and solution.
Now, let's step into Chapter 1, where we unravel the historical context of overpopulation. As we delve into the historical roots, we discover how the shift from nomadic to agricultural societies distorted humanity's relationship with nature, from early civilizations with a population of 1 million to the Industrial Revolution, sparking debates on wealth correlation. Each era shaped our population trajectory. Notable figures like Malthus and Sanger advocated for birth control, while eugenics and migration played significant roles. The population bomb by Paul Ehrlich warned of global famine, sparking controversial discussions. Let's explore these historical threads together. The number of immigrants in the US has been increasingly steady in 1900s. In 2010, there were 43.7 million immigrants in the US, making up 14.7% of the population. The percentage of immigrants in the US population is also projected to increase in the coming decades. By 2060, the Census Bureau projects that there will be 78.2 million immigrants in the US, making up 18% growth. In Chapter 2, we unravel the diverse causes of overpopulation and the attempts made, sometimes controversial, to control it. China's one-child policy, India's struggles with family planning, and the US stance on population control form the backdrop. The influence of religious ideologies, particularly from the Catholic Church, adds a layer of complexity. Abortion, once a matter of survival, becomes an ethical dilemma. Together, we'll navigate these chapters of human attempts to regulate population growth. China's population grew rapidly before the one child policy from around 542 million in 1950 to over 1.4 billion in 2022. The one child policy significantly slowed population growth, with the annual growth rate dropping from around 2.8% in the late 1970s to below 1% in 2022. The UN projects that China's population will peak around 1.4 billion in the 2020s before starting to decline. The stricter one child policy scenario projects a steeper decline in population, reaching around 1.2 billion in 2050. In this graph shows the fertility rates versus ideal number of children in Western Africa, Central Africa, and Eastern Africa. The fertility rate in Western Africa is the highest of the three regions at 5.9 children per woman. This is significantly higher than the ideal number of children, which is 5.3, which means that women in Western Africa are having, on average, more children than they would like. In Central Africa, the fertility rate is 5.4 children per woman, which is also higher than the ideal number of children, which is 5. However, the gap between the two rates is not as large as in Western Africa. The fertility rate in Eastern Africa is 5.3 children per woman, which is very close to the ideal number of children, which is 4.6, and this suggests that women in Eastern Africa are having, on average, the number of children that they would like.
Chapter 3 takes us into the heart of the matter, the environmental impact of overpopulation. Urban expansion, carbon emissions, global warming, and resource scarcity comes into focus. We explore how population growth contributes to climate change, affecting everything from biodiversity to water resources. The economic impacts of overpopulation on labor demand, wages, and job quality are also part of the narrative. This chapter highlights the interconnectedness of population growth, environmental degradation, and economic challenges. Natural sources of carbon dioxide. 43% of atmospheric carbon dioxide comes from natural sources like ocean atmospheric exchange, plant and animal respiration, and soil decomposition. Volcanic eruption contributes negligible amount. In human sources of carbon dioxide, human activities, primarily burning fossil fuels, are the main driver of carbon dioxide emissions, accounting for 78% of the total. Industrial processes and use change also contribute significantly. Population and climate change. Growing populations increase carbon dioxide emissions through higher overall consumption and resource use. However, per capita emissions vary greatly, with developed nations contributing much more than developing ones. To mitigate climate change, we need to reduce carbon dioxide emissions from both natural and human sources. This can be achieved through adopting renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, and protecting forests. Remember, while natural sources contribute a sizable portion of carbon dioxide, human activities are primarily responsible for the rapid rise in atmospheric carbon dioxide and its impact to the climate change. Addressing climate change requires a worldwide effort to reduce emissions and transitions to a sustainable future. As we reach Chapter 4, the pivotal question arises: how can we address overpopulation on a global scale? Here we discuss the power dynamics between national and international institutions in regulating carbon emissions. The legitimacy of domestic institutions, their advantages, and the necessity of global governance become central themes. Urbanization, food and water distribution, environmental pollution, opportunities for women, and effective population control policies are all part of the solution. Power dynamics. National institutions are portrayed as powerful entities deemed more effective due to their legitimacy and enforcement capabilities within their territories. In contrast, international institutions, while providing guidance, are seen as reliant on the strength of domestic institutions. Legitimacy of domestic institutions. Moving on, the spotlight shifts to the legitimacy of domestic institutions. Emphasis is placed on their acceptance in status as a legitimate source of binding law. This legitimacy is deeply rooted in shared values and common culture, facilitating communication and policy implementation without barriers. Advantages of domestic institutions. The benefits of domestic institutions are manifold. They include communication without barriers, policy enforcement through national apparatuses, and the reinforcement of social norms to influence individual behavior. These advantages contribute to the efficiency and effectiveness of domestic governance. Need for global governance. While acknowledging the strength of domestic institutions, the author also recognized the imperative need for global institutions in addressing cross-border issues. The effectiveness of global governance relies heavily on the strength of local and national institutions within their territories. Now, let's delve into the realm of governance and sustainability, examining the role of local and national government in critical areas such as urbanization. Urbanization. Local and national governments play a pivotal role in shaping urbanization policies. The focus here is on initiatives impacting carbon emission and waste management. Vision, strategic planning, political will, and technological innovations are highlighted as key components in fostering sustainable urban development. Food and water. Shifting our focus, we explore the global challenge of food and water distribution. While international efforts are mentioned, the core issue lies into the unequal distribution of resources. A call is made for a new economy based on clean energy, biodiversity preservation, and sustainable practices to ensure a more equitable future. Environmental pollution. Addressing environmental pollution is crucial. The impact of air and water pollution is discussed with a note to the connection between overpopulation and environmental degradation. The suggestion is made that a lower population might slow down this degradation. Opportunities for women. Empowering women is a key theme. The role of women's education and empowerment in reducing fertility rates is explored. The link between education, employment, and fertility rate is discussed, emphasizing the positive impact of women's opportunity on population control. Effective policy on population control. Contrasting China's coercive one-child policy with Western prioritization of individual rights, the importance of comprehensive reproductive health care, family planning, and maternal and child health care is highlighted as solution. It's evident that the interplay between national and international institutions is critical in addressing global challenges, from power dynamics to sustainability efforts and population control policies. Glo-
And now we arrive at the conclusion, a reflection on the potential apocalyptic consequences if we fail to address overpopulation. Four apocalyptic threats loom, and overpopulation takes its place among them. We've uncovered the devastating impacts: disease, climate change, food and water shortages, and economic decline. The urgency is palpable, urging both domestic and global institutions to take timely action. Technology emerges as a potential solution, but the key lies in the international cooperation and equal resource distribution. Failure to act could lead to catastrophic consequences. The choice is ours, and let's make it wisely.